Well, hello class. Today we're going to be taking a look at solving systems of equations using Desmos. I'm on Desmos on my desktop right now, so if you pull it up on a desktop, it'll look a lot like this. If you have the app for Desmos, it'll look a little bit different, but it'll work the exact same way. A couple notes before I begin showing you how Desmos works. Technology can be a really useful tool if you have functions with really large numbers that would be hard to fit on a small graph, on like a 10 to 10 graph, or if your intersection is in between grid marks on the graph. So let's say that you have two lines that intersect between a grid mark and you're figuring out what that fraction is in there. Technology can really help you on that. These notes are for the graphing calculator just on Desmos. You can download the Desmos app for your smartphone so that you always have the graphing calculator with you, and it's free to use, free to buy. Unlike the TI-84 though, you can't use the Desmos on the ACT, so that is one thing to keep in mind. Desmos is super powerful in what it can do. You can carry it in your pocket because it is an app. You don't have to worry about solving an equation for y like you would on the TI, and I'll show you that in a minute. And it's much easier to change your window. On the smartphone app, you can just pinch and zoom. And on the desktop, you've got little plus and minus buttons in the corner, or you can use the scrolling feature on a mouse. So go to Desmos.com, hit this graphing calculator. There's a login and sign up stuff. We don't have to do that to just graph. So let's just hit graphing calculator. You'll see that it's going to bring up a blank screen, blank graph, and you see over here where it's got the 1, 2, 3. That's where you're going to put your equation. Now, the difference with Desmos is you want to put the entire equation in there. You do have to type in the y equals, unlike on the graphing calculator where it already had y equals. But again, that's kind of a benefit for us. We're going to type the equation exactly as shown. So this first equation, example number 5, it says y equals 3/4. Now, one thing on this, the cursor's still on the bottom, so you'll want to arrow over, cursor over, so that the x is beside the fraction. 3/4 x minus 3. And then if you just hit enter, you can jump down to the next line, and it'll start graphing it in real time. Y equals -2x plus 1. So as you change that equation, you'll see the graph changing as well. So we've got a red line here, that's our first graph, and a purple line is our second graph. And if we want to find the intersecting point, it's actually very simple. All you have to do is click on it, and there's your fraction. 1.455 comma -1.909. I'm not worried about changing those into the fraction equivalents right there. I'm just interested in getting those numbers. Again, that would be hard to do by hand because I'm not going to know the exact fraction for that. Okay, so your solution to this first one, 1.455 and -1.909. To clear the graphs, all you have to do is hit these x's. Let's do number 6 together. And we're going to type it exactly as it's shown. 2x plus 3y is equal to 7. 6x plus 9y is equal to 2. So we see these two graphs, and what do we know about these graphs? Well, to me, these look perfectly parallel. And if we zoom out, I'm going to zoom way out on this thing. Do these lines ever touch? Well, I'm zoomed out to like 400 there. No, the lines never touch. They stay perfectly parallel. They just got really close together because of the window. So on number 6, this would be a no solutions. The lines never intersect. On number 7, we get x equals 12. Now, we couldn't actually graph this in our TI-84 calculators. We can't graph an x equals equation in there. But we can graph the next one in the TI-84, but we'd have to do some rearranging. We get y minus 5 is equal to 2 parentheses x plus 5. And we see here that these intersect way up here at the point 1239. Now that would be hard to do by hand because we've got a really big y value for an intersecting point. We probably aren't going to know to make the graph go all the way out to 12 on the x and 39 on the y. So again, Desmos is beneficial there. We can clear these again. Do our example number 8, y equals 6x plus 30, and y equals 12x plus 20. And we find the intersecting point up here at 1.667. We know that is 1 2/3 or 5/3, comma 40. So either way you want to write it. If you want to express it as a decimal, I'm okay with that. If you want to express it as your 5/3, comma 40, that works as well. Again, this would have been a hard thing to do graphing by hand. Guys, that's really all there is to Desmos. If you get into Desmos and you start playing around with other features on it, you'll see that there's a lot of stuff that you can do. If you click this Tools button, you'll see that you've got different grid possibilities. You can manually set your axes. You can change between radians and degrees, which we're not going to fool with right now. If you hit the Home button, it automatically zooms you to a kind of a more standard window there. And then if you hit Settings, you can go in and make tables. You can see the X and the f of X or Y values for the tables. So that's kind of cool. You can toggle this back and forth here to show your equations or not show your equations. And then there's a little keyboard down here in the corner that you can click on. And I don't think this is going to let me. Let me move this. All right. If you click on that keyboard, then it pops up some other features that you might want to use, such as a squareds, a to a certain power, cubed, fourth, whatever. You can use pi. You can use radicals, greater than, less than, absolute value bars. And then if you click over here on functions, you've got trig functions, stats functions. You've got distributions, and then you've got miscellaneous things. Most of this stuff is not going to be stuff that we look at in this course, but it is a powerful tool for future math classes. Hope you enjoy using Desmos. I know that if I have to graph something really quick and I'm online, Desmos is my go-to. I'm not going to reach for my TI-84 calculator because Desmos just does a really nice job, and it's got a lot of really easy-to-use features. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe.